Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Dear shareholders, participants at the AGM, and guests. A year can go by quite quickly. It was a very interesting year as a CEO for Investor with a very steep learning curve. It was even more interesting than I could have imagined, and I've had the privilege of working with amazing individuals, so thank you to all of you. It's been a good year for Investor, and I have become more and more aware of the strength and the potential available in this company. Just like Jacob said in his presentation, we can conclude that there is no lack of challenges in the world around us. We are all painfully aware of the fact that there is a war raging in several regions. Globalization has been replaced with polarization, and we have massive climate changes. The free trade that we have gotten used to, that has contributed enormously to improving wealth for many decades, is now being challenged in a way not previously seen. In our role as engaged owners in times like these, we work closely with the companies to understand and provide support. Investor has built leading companies for over 100 years through bull markets and bear markets, through various technological changes, and through different global geopolitical situations. And if it's one thing we've learned over the years, it is that flexibility is crucial for getting through tough times. Success is entirely dependent on the ability to deflect difficulties, of course, and at the same time harness opportunities. And our decentralized model, with decisions being taken as close to the company's customers as possible, has been part of our success from the very beginning. Our purpose, to create value for people and for society as a whole by building strong and sustainable companies. This permeates everything that we do, and it helps us stay on course when the wind speeds pick up out there. We have a portfolio of very strong companies with exposure towards attractive growth markets, and by developing world-leading solutions for their customers, they create value for their customers, for society as a whole, and at the end of the day, for you, the shareholders in Investor. We often say that the way our companies go, that's the way the Investor goes. Investor is, as you know, divided into 3 business areas. We have about 70% of our value in what we call listed companies. A little over 20% comprises wholly owned companies in Patricia Industries, and just shy of 10% investments in EQT. 2024 was yet another strong year for Investor. At the end of the year, our net asset worth was 970 billion krona. The growth of that same net asset value amounted to 20%, and the total yield for the Investor B shares was 27%. That can be compared to 6RX index, which rose by 9%. We have a very clear and distinct strategy. Our overarching goal is to generate an attractive total yield for you, our shareholders, and we will achieve that by working in accordance with our strategic priorities. There are 3 of them. 1, increase the net asset worth. 2, pay a steadily increasing dividend. And 3, reach our sustainability targets. Increasing our net asset worth is our single most important value driver over time. Over the last 5 years, that has increased by 17% per year on average. Behind these nice figures, of course, it's our companies in the portfolio that has carried a lot of this burden. It will always be so. The profitable growth of our companies is the most important driver of our value over time. And I would like to express my gratitude to all the hard work that is taking place out there every day. Our second strategic priority is to pay a steadily growing, increasing dividend. Over the past 10 years, the dividend has increased by 9% per year on average, assuming that the AGM will vote in favor of the board's proposal of 5 krona and 24 öre for this year. Last but not least, we will reach our sustainability targets. Not least, given what's being discussed in the world around us, I would like to take this opportunity to establish that sustainability will continue to be strategically important to investor, because to us it is crystal clear that sustainability is a foundation for long-term competitiveness. If we take the green transition as an example, it is both about doing something good for the climate, but also about doing good business. In 2024, we took several steps in the right direction, but we are not yet there. We have 3 focus areas that we continuously follow up. Climate and resource efficiency, I mentioned that. There are huge improvements being made within our companies. For example, the emissions from the company's own operations, called Scope 1 and 2, have decreased by 70% compared to the baseline year 2016. Diversity and inclusion is another prioritized area. We are convinced, you see, that different perspectives and an inclusive culture will lead to better decisions and better results over time. And it's only by providing equal opportunities for all can we implement true meritocracy. The share of women on the boards have continued to increase and is now 39%, which is fairly close to our target of 40%. Business ethics and governance is crucial for us as engaged owners, of course. We have zero tolerance to all forms of corruption and unethical behavior, and all our companies currently conduct regular anti-corruption training. Everything we do aims to achieve our overarching target, to generate an attractive total yield to you as shareholders. We usually evaluate the result across several timelines with more focus on the longer time periods. And we can see here that the blue columns representing the total yield on average for investors B share is higher than the gray columns representing the total yield of 6RX, our comparison index. So we managed to deliver in excess of our yield requirement. That's the dotted orange line here. And we've done better than the stock exchange. And that is, of course, nice. I cannot promise you that we will succeed, but I will promise you that we'll do everything in our power to ensure that this trend continues. That's a few words about our strategic priorities and our total yield, meaning what do we want to achieve with our business. Let me now shift to how we will continue to deliver. We have a strong starting point and a clear strategy going forward. So the question is, how do we manage this in the best possible way? We focus on 3 crucial areas: performance, portfolio, and people, what we refer to as our 3 Ps. Performance is about ensuring that we and our companies perform well, both here and now in the present and in the longer term. Portfolio is about having the right exposures to industries that grow, and people is, of course, having the right talent and resourceful individuals around us and give them responsibility and a mandate to act. We begin with performance. Performing in the here and now and at the same time investing in the future is, of course, crucial. And one thing does not exclude the other. On the contrary, they go hand in hand.
With profitable growth here and now, we have opportunities and the means we need to invest more to future-proof our operations. The capability of our companies to generate profitable growth is the main driver of net asset value over time. To effectively and efficiently deliver customer benefits creates profits for the companies that can be reinvested to future-proof the operations. Any company that's focused on enhancing customer benefit, that has a corporate culture and incentives to promote continuous improvements here and in the future for investments and for future-proofing, and a company which is clear in giving the mandates to skilled individuals and teams to take action. Those are the companies who will be winners in the future. The investor companies are often market leaders, very much thanks to products and services they've developed themselves, but work has to continue consistently to defend this position. All companies have, of course, different preconditions, but there are a few themes which are common denominators to most of the companies in our portfolio. Here are three such themes. Product development innovation, first of all. A healthy obsession by constantly wanting to improve your product offerings is something we believe is very healthy indeed. And in this context, we need to also be open to collaborations and acquisitions as a complement to more homegrown organic innovation and development. And secondly, successful companies will understand that the green transition offers great business opportunities. One clear example, of course, are products which contribute to allowing customers to reduce their energy consumption. Products which thereby can be sold at a higher price. And three, those who manage to leverage AI and other digital development will see great and even growing benefits. In the portfolio and within Investor, there's enormous potential when it comes to using AI, both to improve the customer offerings and improve efficiency. I'd like to give you a few brief examples. We've talked about this before, and we see opportunities across the entire value chain, from R&D, where AstraZeneca use AI tools to simulate molecules, see how they interact with each other and within the body, and in manufacturing, where ABB can offer natural language programming of robots so that the instructions to the robots are more intuitive and opens up for many more people to manage them. And in aftermarkets and after-service offerings, where many companies today will use AI to improve prediction of the needs for service and maintenance before anything breaks. And there are many companies who also use chatbots in their customer service. And if we look at the area performance continued, we also need to be able to manage situations where things don't go quite as we had hoped and operations don't develop in line with their full potential. We have an obligation to take action. We will be attentive and alert to deviations. We will put them on the table, and together with the boards and senior managements, we will put together a plan to take action. Sometimes you succeed the first time around, other times it will take more work. Focus area number 2, our portfolio. And here, the point is that we and our companies will strive towards being exposed to healthy sectors of industry that will grow over time. In addition to everything that's happening organically, company by company, Investor has the opportunity to choose where we wish to invest, of course, and to make adaptations to the portfolio to pull out of certain areas. And being able to invest requires financial strength and flexibility, needless to say. We invested a great deal during 2024. 15 billion was the gross number, with good activity in all 3 business areas. Our focus remains to invest and develop the companies we already own, and this can be done in several ways. We invest in wholly owned companies to finance organic investments and additional acquisitions, and also buying more listed companies, like we increased our holding in Ericsson, for example, or being included in new share issues. Our main priority is to always invest in our existing companies, but we're also actively on the lookout for opportunities to add new companies to our portfolio. And a perfectly reasonable question is, what do we look for in an investment? Well, we want to identify companies with a leading market position in healthy industries, with good growth, companies with a strong corporate culture, with a strong financial profile, and good opportunities to beat the competitors also moving forward. One example of an investment within Patricia Industries is Advanced Instruments acquisition of Nova Biomedical, which was announced in March. The purchase price amounts to $2.2 billion. That's one of the largest investments that we've ever made. Nova Biomedical is a company since it was set up in 1976 has developed products that have become leaders in their categories in healthcare and production of biological pharmaceutical drugs. The income is diversified both in terms of products, segments, and geographies, and with good profitability. Merging Advanced Instruments and Nova Biomedical improves the product offering, strengthens the R&D capability, and broadens the geographical presence. This, in turn, lays the foundation for a robust platform for accelerated innovation and profitable growth. Once again, to invest more in our existing companies to further drive profitable growth is an excellent way of putting our capital to work. But it's not just about investing in the portfolio, after all. Sometimes we also need to make adjustments. We need to fine-tune or even pull out of some operations that do not have a strategic fit. A few weeks ago, for example, we announced that we are in favor of ABB's plan for a spin-off of robotics into a new listed company. We believe that this will strengthen the focus and ensure that part of the operations a better situation and a better way of reaching its full potential. We, as investors, look forward to being engaged owners also in the new company. And in order to support our companies and make the most of the opportunities, we need financial flexibility. We have a strong balance sheet and investor. Our leverage is approximately 1% in the lower span of our target range of 0 to 10%. And just as important as the equity assets ratio, we also need liquidity and cash flow. And here we can see that through hard work, we have a very robust system that we've constructed where all three business areas contribute to the cash flow in black numbers over time, making a positive contribution. And then the third P are people. At the end of the day, it's about having strong individuals and strong teams. That is what truly makes the difference. It's about ensuring that you have the right leadership, that you expand the investors' network, and that you never compromise on your values or your integrity. We work with a decentralized model that requires us to have the right board of directors and the right CEO in every company at any given time. If we look at the boards of our companies, we have approximately 200 directorships that need to be occupied by the right individuals. And only during this AGM season, to the listed company, we have 18 additional new directors who will strengthen the competence profile of the various boardrooms. We work to grow our network consistently. It's ongoing work continuously, where the development program PIAD in Patricia Industries is one such important initiative to further build and grow competence and skills from the inside. The right skills, right competence, and business acumen are very important in this context. However, at the end of the day, it's just as much about ensuring that we have healthy values. We will fight very hard to win, but we will not cheat. We will do things the right way, even if that doesn't always mean that we take the quickest road. And we will always set a good example. Now I've presented the 3 Ps that we focus on to reach our strategic goals. Our very clear focus and the driver to build successful companies, together with our financial strength, is the reason why we're in a good position to continue to create value and generate a total return which is attractive for all of you, esteemed shareholders. Thank you very much for the trust you've shown in us, and thank you for your attention.